So we'll begin with cat and cow. So just warming up your spinal column and shoulders. So inhale to look up, dropping your belly down. And then exhale, curving your spine up to the ceiling and tucking your chin towards your belly button. I'm just going at your own pace here, so I'm not going to call out the cues. Just as long as you're inhaling up and exhaling down. And this is a good time too. It's not just warming up the muscles along your back and shoulders, it's also establishing that neuromuscular connection from your brain to your spinal column. We'll take one or two more passes. And then we'll all meet in a nice neutral spine. And then pushing your heart away from the floor and tucking your belly button up in towards your spine so you have like a hollow stomach. You can reach your right arm out in front of you and push your left heel straight back out behind you. Take in a deep breath, and then on the exhale, connect elbow to knee under your body. Inhale to extend, and we're going to go for 10 of those. There's 2. There's 3. 4. 5. When you push your heel away from you, think about stepping on the wall behind you. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Reach out one more time and then finish on all fours. Take a second to resettle, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So reaching your left arm out in front of you, taking the gaze straight down to the floor and pushing your right heel straight back behind you. Taking a deep breath, and then on the exhale, connect elbow to knee. And then inhale to extend, and we're going to go for 10 of these. 2. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Finish by extending out, and then coming back onto all fours. Cool. So the next phase of the operation is we're going to come into a downward facing dog. I'm just tucking in my shirt so my shirt doesn't fall off over the top of my head, and it's like that fast drying material that's really slippery. Okay, so coming into a downward facing dog, we're going to go for alternate toe touch. So keeping your fingertips pressing into the mat, we're going to reach right arm to left toes, and come back, and then left arm to right toes. We're going to go for 20 of these, going at your own pace. 18, 19, 20. Cool. Once you wrap up your set of 20 of those, just give your wrists a second to rest. You can do whatever you do to rest out your hands. And then we're going to come into a high plank and go for a set of slow-mo mountain climbers. So it's like a geriatric mountain climber. So you're holding your plank, and then you bring one knee to an elbow, come back, other knee to your elbow. Again, we're going to go for a set of 20 of these. Not terribly fast. Once you wrap up your set of 20, we'll transition onto your bum. Your legs out in front of you. We're going to go for a set of Russian twists. So you can do heels on the floor, so long as you keep your back real straight, or heels can float. Hold on to an imaginary ball of joy, or like a big pot of gold. Extend it towards one side and then the other. We're going to go for 30 rotations. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. When I worked at Equinox in 2002, my fitness manager was Johnny McCulley. And this is a random shot. If Johnny McCulley's out there and finds this video, he always told me every good workout has trunk rotation. So shout out to Johnny Mac. So we're going to press your hands to the floor behind you, raise your hips up off the mat. We're going to do a set of 20 crab kicks. So opposite hand or foot, throwing for 20. Okay. 20. Cool. So done with those, you can come onto your back with your heels either down on the floor by your bum or up in the air or straight up. Any one of those variations is good. We're going to go for a set of 25 crunches. So hands can be across your shoulders or behind your head, crunching up and down. Just trying to maintain a good space between your chin and your chest. Once you finish your 25 of those, we're going to extend your right arm over your head, knuckles to the floor, and then reach out your left foot along the ground. We're going to go for 15 hand to toe crunches on each side. So reaching up, touching your toe, coming all the way back. This left hand can rest on your belly or go behind your head. Once you're done with your 15, just switch sides, same thing on the other. Seven. 12, 14, 15. Cool. Take a second to stretch out your abdominal wall, pushing out through the heels of your feet and the heels of your hands. Taking a deep breath. Yawn if you can manage it. Great. We're going to bend your knees again and cross your right ankle over your left knee. So we're going to do figure 4 crunches with rotation. So we're going to bring your left hand behind your head and crunch up, left elbow towards right knee. And that other foot can float in the air if you want to make it harder. If you want to make it a little bit easier, leave it on the ground. We're going to go for 15 on each side. Try and twist as much as you can, like you're actually trying to make that connection. Even if you're not quite getting there, it's that action of like trying to get there that really kind of gets those obliques working. So down with your set of 15, just switching sides. Left ankle over right knee, right hand behind your head. Crunch up and twist. Even when it gets hard, squeeze up a little bit higher. And good. Cool. With your hands underneath your bum, we're going to do a set of 20 leg lifts. So legs going out straight along the floor, raising them until they're just shy of above your hips. So you don't want to kick all the way up so your butt leaves the floor, then lower them down just above the ground. So going for 20 of these. If this puts strain on your lower back, you can bend your knees to kind of take that strain off, or put something into your hips to raise your hips up higher. Once you're all done with the set of 20, you're going to plant your feet down on the floor. I'm going to give you 2 options for hip raises. So if hip raises are kind of easy for you, or kind of hard for you, you can do both feet on the ground. So raising up, lowering down slowly, like that. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can cross an ankle over a knee and do single leg hip raises. Then if you're doing single leg, we're going to do 10 on each side. If you're doing them both feet together, total of 20. And each time you go up, think about like bringing those hips as high as you can towards the ceiling. It's kind of in that last 1 inch of the contraction where you get the benefit of the exercise. Like you can totally like just do that, and I mean maybe it does something, but I don't know what it does. So down your 10, switch legs if you're doing single leg. Cool. I mean, those are fun. Everybody likes those. Nobody's like, no hip raises. No, 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 no. Okay, so we're going to do a set of 5 butterflies. So butterflies are where you extend your arms and legs out, like a starfish or a butterfly, and then take in a deep breath, and then exhale, coming up, floating until you're on your tailbone, with your back as straight as can be. And then coming out of it the same way you go into it, nice and slow on the way down. So big breath in, long exhale, floating up. Until you balance, hold it for a moment. And then lower back down slowly. an extra one just in case. And super duper. Once you're done with your butterflies, bring your feet towards your bum again with your heels touching, big toes touching, and then drop your knees out to either side. So you're opening yourself up. Take a second, just kind of rock your hips side to side. Let your hips know that everything is okay. It's like, life is good, hips. Don't worry about it. Then put one hand over the other like you're diving into a swimming pool, and we're going to crunch up with alacrity. So nice and fast on the way up, and then go back very slowly for a set of 20 reps. So hands track along the ground. So you're going quickly, then going back slow. Cool. And once you're done with the set of 20, you'll bring your hands underneath your bum. We're going to do a set of vertical hip raises. So with your hands on your butt, straightening your legs straight up over your hips, and then we're kicking your butt up off the floor and then trying to lower it down very slowly. So it ends up looking something like that. We're going to go for a set of 20. Sixteen, 20. Oh. Those are fun. Yeah, it's kind of fun. All right. So bringing both hands out to either side and your knees together. You're going to drop both knees over to one side. So your knees are stacked, ankles are stacked, but your left shoulder blade is still on the floor. You're going to bring both hands behind your head and then try and crunch your right shoulder blade up off the mat. So we're going to do 15 times on each side. So crunch them up as hard as you can. And I know it feels kind of weird. You're like, this is unnatural, but it's a good oblique exercise. Again, it's in the last inch of the contraction where you get the biggest gain. So really get that good strong squeeze at the top. And your hands are there just to support your head, but not pull on your head. Once you're done with your set of 15, switching sides. Think about giving a big exhale as you crunch up. So it's like you're emptying out your lungs as you do the crunch. Once you're all done with those, rest on your side. And with your fingertips spread wide, kind of pressing into the floor, and then posting your shoulder away from the mat so the shoulder girdle is really strong. Sam, especially you, keeping that shoulder engaged. We're going to come up for hip raises. So going 15 on each side, like that. Try and create that arch at the top. Once you're done with that set, just switch sides. Same thing on the other. So again, fingertips are spread wide, pressing into the floor. That shoulder's engaged, so this is really strong. Protects that shoulder. 15 hip raises. Cool. We'll come onto your back, creating a little tabletop with your shins. With your toes flexed, we're going to press your hands into your thighs and your thighs into your hands. This is a good deep core stabilizing exercise. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds, starting right now. So my hands are pushing into my legs, and then my legs are pushing into my hands. Pretend you got a piece of coal in between your palm and your thighs. You're trying to make a diamond. Like push, 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 push. And this is one where you can totally take it easy if you want to, but like don't. Keep pushing hard, 10 more seconds. Push, 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 push. Everything you got. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to flip you all the way over onto your stomach. Okay, so we're going to come into Superman cactus arms. And I'm sure that this has a more real name than that, but my workout. It's your workout. So arms are out in front of you, flying up like Superman, and then we draw your elbows down towards your ribs for cactus arms. Fly back out like Superman, and then lower down slowly. We're gonna go for 5 of these total, going at your own pace. So being kind of gentle and listening to your body as you go through the range, and breathing while you're moving, so you're never holding your breath. Once you're done with your fifth one, we'll come all the way back into child's pose for a second. Give it a counter stretch. I'm taking a few breaths here and just inhaling really deeply, so you can kind of feel the space be created in your lower back through the breath. We'll make our way all the way back onto forearm. So we'll finish with a forearm plank. So palms facing the floor and toes on the mat. We're going to hold for 1 minute, starting right now. So think about pushing out through the heels of your feet and the crown of your head. And then the spine in between your shoulder blades, you're trying to push up towards the ceiling. So you're not collapsing through your heart. As you exhale, tuck your belly button into your spine. We've got about 30 seconds left. And 15 more seconds. As it starts getting difficult, push out through your heels. Crown of your head, focusing on that core work. 10 to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming all the way down. Cool. So we're going to finish just a few lower back stretches and spinal twists. So coming on to hands and knees. We're going to raise your right arm up towards the ceiling, kind of rolling through the shoulder girdle. So you can take a gaze up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to thread your right arm underneath the left. So your right ear comes down towards the mat, and your right shoulder's resting on the floor. We'll hold here for 2 more breaths. Pushing out your left hand, raising your right arm back up towards the ceiling, rolling through the shoulder, and then coming back onto all fours. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So reaching left arm up, rolling your left scapula back towards your spine, and then exhale, threading your left arm underneath your right, to bring your left ear down towards the mat. And again, like the deeper you breathe, the more productive the stretch gets. Just kind of letting your upper body be heavy on the exhales. 2 more breaths here. And then pushing off your right hand, raising your left arm back up towards the ceiling. Coming back onto all fours and make your way into a sitting position. So from here, we're going to inhale, raising both hands up over your head. Drop one hand down by the side, doesn't matter which hand. And then we're going to bend at the elbow. As you extend that top arm over, and you stretch out all the muscles that go all the way down to your hip. Take a second to smell your armpit. Good. Friday. And then we're going to use that hand that's on the floor to push yourself back up. Bring both hands to the ceiling, and then same thing on the other side. Dropping down and then bending at the elbow and extending that top arm over. So you're feeling that stretch all the way down to your hip. And again, smell your armpit. And I'm doing that so that you can like kind of rotate to look up towards the ceiling, but you do end up smelling your armpit too. Using that hand that's on the floor, pushing off and coming all the way up. And glitter fingers of happiness, sparkle magic sunshine, Friday joy, weekend happiness. That's it. Well done. Thanks so much for doing core workout with me.